That takes us to the next question. Did Paul actually write his own letters? We have about 14 letters that they were discovered. Actually, there are 17 letters that they were discovered. Only 6 or 7 of them that they say they are genuine Pauline epistles, letters, that they were authentic. However, the other letters, there have so many debates between them. Some of them, they made it into the canonical book, into the New Testament, and some of them did not make it, and they say that it is apocryphic and they are altered books or letters. The genuine Pauline epistles, they are the letter to the Romans, the letter to the First Corinthians, the letter to the Second Corinthians, the letters to the Galatians, the letter to the Philippians, the letter to the First Thessalonians, and we have the letter of Philemon. The other ones, they're called pseudo. Pseudo means fake, apocryphic, fake Pauline epistles, and they are debatable, but they made it into the New Testament. They are Ephesians, Colossians, First Thessalonians, First Timothy, Second Timothy, and Titus. And all these, they say that they were written by Paul, but there are no proofs that actually Paul wrote them, because there are differences in the style of writing, and I will talk about this in just a second. There are 2 letters that definitely did not make it into the Bible. They are the Laodiceans or Laodicean, and they are the 3rd Corinthians. Corinthians. And Hebrew, as I said, no one knows if really Paul wrote them or not. This book was written by an anonymous. One of the stories, for example, about Paul, when he talks about his testimony, and he says in one of his letters that he saw a vision. He saw like a light coming down on him when he was a rebellious man, before he accepted Jesus Christ as his savior, or before he actually converted to be a Christian, a follower to Christ. Of course, there were no Christians at that time. He was a follower of Christ. And then after that, they were called Christians around like 100 AD. And so he says that he saw a light and he heard the sound, and the people who surrounded him, they could see the light, but they could not hear the sound. In another account, in one of his letters, he says the story completely backward. He says that he heard the sound and he saw the light, but the people surrounding him heard the sound, but they did not see any light. Another ideologies for Paul, for example, when he talks about women, that they have a big role in the church and they can help the pastor and they can be teachers and preachers and so on. But then we see in First Thessalonians, Paul talk about women as they are second class and they do not have the right to speak in the church, that they should cover their head in the presence of God in the church, and if they have any questions, they're not supposed to be talking and they should shut up, go home, and they ask their husbands. So we see conflicting also ideologies and things about Paul, and that what made the scholars to doubt that there are some epistles and some of these letters were not written by Paul, and they are pseudo letters, that they were written by people and they made it belong to Paul because they wanted people to listen to them and to be heard.